Boom.
Will the Cleveland Browns get their first win? That's what we want to know when Thursday Night Football comes to Cleveland. Jets Browns. We're going to be talking about it. $1 million contest. Big play. Coach Jay in the house. What's going on, boss?
Well, we know that the Browns are not going to lose because of Zane Gonzalez again.
Yeah.
So that's
Kicker
a good
problem
thing.
solved?
I hope maybe.
Let's get right to our first question in the $1 million slate on Boom Fantasy for Thursday night. It is most passing yards. It is Sam Darnold against Tyrod Taylor. We still doing Tyrod? Or are you going back to
I
Tyrod,
can't do
Nick?
it.
And who do you got for this
I'm
question?
Tyrod or die. I can't go Tyrod.
Do you think he's going to have more passing yards?
I don't though. I don't. I'm going with Darnold. I've been a Tyrod truther for a long time, and I'm slowly trying to find the exit door. Tyrod Taylor hasn't gone over 250 yards since week 16 of last season, which includes a playoff game. Yeah, that's right. The Buffalo Bills did make the playoffs last year and now are the laughingstock of the NFL. But I do think that Sam Darnold is going to have far more volume in this game, and he is a much better deep passer. So all he has to do is connect on one or two of those, and he might outgain Tyrod through the air.
I associate Tyrod Taylor with interception averse over yard accumulator, and I think that's what he was brought in to do, is cut down on the picks. And I'm going to take Sam Darnold here. He's got a higher yards per attempt than Tyrod through 2 games. I just did it again. Tyrod. Let's move on to question 2. It is most rushing yards. We have Isaiah Crowell, Carlos Hyde. Tyrod Taylor is the C, and Bilal Powell as the D bet. Nick, who do you like for most rushing yards?
I really like Carlos Hyde here. He's bound to break out at some point. He's getting lots and lots of carries. It's not a split backfield with Chubb like some people predicted it would be. It's the Carlos Hyde show. He just needs to break loose on one or two of these and get a rhythm about him. But I do think he has a good chance to do that. Cleveland and the Jets are both going to try to run the ball. Whichever one is successful is probably going to be the one that wins the game, but I think he's going to get a ton of carries.
I like Hyde here, despite the Jets having a pretty decent run defense. We thought it'd be a 3-headed monster. Duke Johnson has disappeared from the offensive radar, or Todd Haley's game plan. It is all Hyde, 3rd in the league in carries, a little ridiculous through 2 games. But Carlos Hyde here, for me, it's a no-brainer. Question 3, most receiving yards. We have Terrell Pryor, Rashard Higgins, Antonio Callaway, and Robbie Anderson. What do you like here, Nick? Most receiving yards?
I like Robbie Anderson to catch one of those Sam Darnold deep balls. Robbie is not a volume guy, but he's a big play guy, and my Twitter name is Big Play Coach J, so I'm a big fan of those. So I'm going Robbie on this to catch a big one or maybe 2.
I think Robbie's going to draw Denzel Ward, and I've been liking the way Denzel Ward attacks the ball in the air. So I'm going to go Callaway. I think Callaway is unheralded and exciting, and I think if he didn't have off-the-field problems, he'd be a first-round talent. Everything about that ball he caught against the Saints, that dude's going to have a bright future in the league, so I'm going Callaway.
Yeah, they apparently trust him enough to let go of Josh Gordon, so he must be the real deal.
Yeah. Question 4, most receptions. I think this one's a little wacky, right? David Njoku, Bilal Powell, Jermaine Kearse, and Duke Johnson. Who do you like for most receptions? I'd go Enunwa, but he's not here, so we got a little work to do.
Yeah, this one is a little bit more difficult. If Enunwa was there, it would be a lock. I'm going to go with Bilal Powell. Like I said, I think the Jets are going to be forced to throw the ball a little bit more. Cleveland is a pass funnel defense. Powell is a top tier pass catching running back. I think he's going to see a lot more targets.
I like that. I can see that. I could see Powell getting more work in a situation where the Jets have to pass. Njoku, I'm not so high on, but I'm completely off of Duke Johnson. I think he has 11 touches in the first 2 games, and that's a big no-no. So I don't want anything to do with this question. So I'm just going to ride with an expert, and that's you, and we're going to take Powell. Question 5, total touchdowns. Quincy Enunwa, Jarvis Landry, Antonio Callaway, or Robbie Anderson. This is where the big names come out, Nick, and you are going to stick with Robbie here, right? A little correlation play?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Robbie because of that big play capability. Landry is definitely the best pass catcher out of this group, but he's not a real touchdown threat. Enunwa is probably the safe play here because he is a red zone threat, big body guy. But I like Robbie Anderson in this one.
I want to go Enunwa here. I think he's just missing the touchdowns in his game. He's got the target volume. He's been getting involved in the offense. He's the first read on a lot of these passing plays for Darnold, who is throwing down the field. He's averaging over 8 yards per attempt, which is pretty good for a kid, essentially, in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Nunwa here. I just think the Browns are going to pound the rock, and Darnold's going to be running for his life against this Browns line, and he'll be looking for his first option pretty often. Question 6, this is our favorite single game slate questions. It is most passing touchdowns or made field goals. Sam Darnold, Tyrod Taylor, not Zane Gonzalez because he got cut, but is Jason Myers of the Jets and Greg Joseph of the Cleveland Browns, the winner of midweek tryouts. Are you going with Greg Joseph, new Brownie?
Well, Zane Gonzalez would have been a hard pass.
Yeah, definitely.
And Greg Joseph is still a pass. I don't know anything about this guy. I know that Cleveland doesn't trust kickers right now, so I'm not fond of that opportunity for him. But I'm confident that the Jets are going to score a few times through the air in this one. So I'm sticking with my Darnold/Robbie Anderson correlation, and I'm going to go with Darnold on this one.
Don't know anything about Greg Joseph. Nick, what are the DFI guys doing? You're not doing kicker prospect research? That's unbelievable.
No, kickers are not really on our radar.
That's unbelievable.
As soon as FanDuel got rid of kickers, we were like, Tyreek Hill.
Expand that radar. Boom is bringing kickers all over these single game slates. I'm going Jason Myers here. I think that as the field shrinks, the Browns pass rush will get better. Force the kicker onto the field. Give me the Jets kicker. I think this game's going to be all kinds of sloppy, and I think he can hit 3 easy and get on the board for this question. You are 2 questions away from $1 million, but now it's tough. Now we need some lightning rounds, and it's Quincy Enunwa, receiving yards. Nick, what do you like here? He's been pretty consistent through 2 games.
He has been. The volume has definitely been there. And I think it will continue to be there tonight. So I'm going to go Enunwa for about 83.
I like that. I think I'm going to go with the same exact number so we can split the $1 million jackpot. You like
Let's do it,
$500,000?
I do. Yeah,
All right,
I like that.
83. Lock it up. 7 catches. Not that it matters. The final question for our $1 million jackpot is Jarvis Landry receiving yards. What do you got for this, Nick? He's been active through 2 weeks, and now Josh Gordon is not a thing.
Yeah, Josh Gordon really hasn't been a thing this year, so I don't know that will have a huge effect on Landry. I like Landry on the low end this week. I think he still gets decent volume, but not what he's used to getting, so I'm going to go with 58 for Landry.
Give me 68. Is that what you said?
I said 58, so,
okay, so
thanks
give me
for
68.
one-upping me.
Give me 68, Bob. $1, Bob. I'll take 68, and I will take my $1 million in cash. Thank you.
Well, you got to send half of that to me because of the last question.
So that's it. Browns are going to open the fridge, right? This is going to be a W?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Browns, they got to have a ball bounce their way eventually.
A preemptive congratulations on your first win, Browns. And if not, Jets fans, you're welcome for the jinx. We'll see you for Sunday. More DFI action, right?